You're watching Talk Mini, and I'm your CJ. Welcome back to the album ranking. And today's album ranking or discography ranking is going to be of Overkill, one of the best thrash bands of all time. The band that got me into metal because, well, one of their albums was the first discovery for me to actually getting into metal, and it was the first album I ever listened to, which it will be later in the video as expected. But yeah, 20 studio albums. I try to shy away from bands that have such big discographies because, yeah, it's such a bitch trying to listen to all of them and get it together. And yeah, it was an absolute bitch, but I decided, well, I'm going to buckle down and do Overkill because it's been widely requested and people have been wondering why I don't. That's why I don't, because it's such a big discography. But hell, it's ranking 89. I thought it would be special, so yeah, let's go right into it. Number 20, The Killing Kind. I don't think this placing is a surprise to anyone, as this album is universally canned by their fans, and well, I don't hate it. I don't hate this album, but yeah, like, it's at the bottom for a reason. It has its moments like the opener, Battle. Battle's an absolutely amazing song, but some of the other songs, like, wow, like, yeah. It gets a 7.6 out of 10. Number 20, I don't like to dawn on the ones that are so low. But yeah, number 19 is going to be Necroshine. I'm going to put this right here. Necroshine, not bad, but not one that I want to go back to. This album has the same issues as the previously mentioned, The Killing Kind. Most of the songs are forgettable, besides Let Us Pray is one of the best ones. I honestly think Let Us Pray is a great song. It's amazing. It's an absolutely amazing song. This gets a 7.8 out of 10. Still not up to par with what they were doing like in the 80s and not modern. But yeah. Let's put this over here. Number 18 is going to be WFO. From 1994. This album is a mess, honestly. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but there's some songs that are skips. This is furthering into the groove metal for Overkill, and let's just say if this album had the thrash groove style of the previous I Hear Black, it would have been a lot better. Spoiler alert. I just said that if it was like I Hear Black, it would be a lot better. Should send some flags that it might be higher up on the list, but basically a full groove record, and well, it's good but not great. 8.6 out of 10. Best song is Where It Hurts. Like, it was kind of hard to pick which one was the best song because they basically are blended all the same, and kind of a iffy record, but still good. Now we go to the nines, which is going to be Relic 14 from 2005. There is 9 songs I like and one I really don't like that throws off the album completely. Not as intense as Killbox and not in the same direction, but that doesn't matter as the song quality is good up until that one song. 9.3. It's still really good. 9.3 and above, like 17 is 9.3 and above, so this band has some pretty great stuff. Don't hate anything from this band at all, other than some songs, but hate is a strong word. It's just not, yeah. Best song on this one is Pound of Flesh. Pretty great song. Pretty great album too. It has a thrashy sound to it that's good. Number 16, I do not own on CD, which is The Grinding Wheel from 2017, the lowest of the more modern thrash records that they did. Another case of one song bringing an album down. The Grinding Wheel has a thrashy sound of the other ones that come out in the 2000s, 2010s, but not as intense. 9.6 out of 10. Not going to dwell on this one too much, but the best song is The Grinding Wheel, the title track. It's a long masterpiece song, which, you know, I love those. Number 15 is going to be also with a 9.6 out of 10 from The Underground and Below. I know a lot of people have this one at the very bottom. I don't. I actually quite enjoy this album, except one song, which is actually mentioned. One of the best groove metal albums from Overkill. Different feel from the other albums released from the band, and truly stands out. I found people either love this album or hate this album. I've heard a lot of people say that this is their best album. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Not at all. I would never put this one at number one, but still really good. Um, I'm one of the fans that love this album for how experimental and dark it is. It's definitely a 90s album, and you can hear it in it. Yeah, best song is Long Time Dying. Absolutely amazing song there, and also has, I think, one of the, I think the person that was on the Diablos album from Annihilator, which that's another one of my favorites. It's another album that's really good. Number 14 is Bloodletting from 2000, a groove record that kept me interested. The best of Overkill's full groove metal albums, aka they finally got it right, but abandoned the groove sound right after the 2003 release, or right at the 2003 release. Killbox. The songs are good, but the only downside is memorability. As with the band that has 20 albums, Bloodletting becomes an afterthought towards the other albums that they have, the other really popular ones like yeah, I'm having a brain fart. Horoscope and The Years of Decay, those albums, definitely this becomes an afterthought compared to those ones. 9.7 out of 10. The best song is My Name is Pain. Absolutely amazing song there. Yeah, the next one is a very big surprise that it's not like really far down the list. This is not really far down the list in my opinion. At number 13 is going to be Immortalis from 2007. I used to think of this album as weak, but re-listening to it, I'd have to disagree with my past self here. The internet says this album is considered a groove record, which I disagree with, as I see it as more of a thrash album with a not so ballsy tone, which, yeah, if they had a better guitar tone here on this album, it would be top tier, honestly. The guitar tone is basically what suffers here, but that really is not a takeaway because like the artistry is here. And it is the first 10 out of 10. Not a fan favorite, but a hidden gem in the discography. Best song is Skull and Bones with Randy Blythe on the... They also had Randy Blythe on this album too, on Skull and Bones, which is my favorite song. Number 12. White Devil Armory from 2014. Complete excellence, but in the discography of a band with 20 albums or greater albums than it. Focused and driven. This one gets the job done with a great pure thrash sound. However, the one that came out in 2012 completely blew it out of the water. Like, there's no way that this album could have not fallen into the shadows of that one. You know which one it is. Spoiler alert again. 10 out of 10. Best song is Another Day to Die. Great song there too. Not really explaining songs too much because, yeah, they've got so many records. I gotta try to get through this as fast as I can and still be interesting. Number 11 is their new album, Scorched, which I will not be going into too much because I did a full review on it. The newest album, Overlooked, the day it came out, as Metallica released the same day. Yeah, it had a same release day as Metallica, and I did review it a couple days after Metallica's, because I reviewed Metallica's on the day. But I didn't review this one on the day because, yeah, it got overshadowed. I reviewed Scorched earlier in the year and liked it then, and things haven't changed. Best song is Twist of the Wick. It is perfect, in my opinion. There's not really anything not anything bad on it. And yeah, it falls at number 11, kind of low for the new albums, but is what it is. Number 10 is this one. I don't know what the reaction for this is going to be. Number 10 is Horoscope from 1991. The album I've listened to the least of their first 5, having the big sound of Years of Decay with not as memorable songs. This one falls as the worst of the first 5. A fully locked in album that doesn't drop quality once, as it's just full back-to-back bangers all the way through it. Best song on Horoscope is Infectious. One of the best songs that they ever did. But yeah, the other albums really kind of outshadow it, and it is 10 out of 10, so still top 10. So it's not that bad that I put it here, but I know some people think it's bad that I put it kind of low. Move up the list so I could see. Number nine is Killbox. I mentioned Killbox earlier. The start of the second thrash era. And what a start it was. Killbox is unrelenting even more than the 80s releases. A new ballsy tone and attitude. This album is a return to form. Personally, I go back to this album from time to time, and when I do, I'm never disappointed. The song quality is also there with the track list that screams we're back, because Overkill abandoned the groove stuff for this album, and well, it shows because it's good. It's really good. It's the first 10 out of 10 in a very long time since that point. Best song is The One, followed by Devil by the Tail at a close second. Couldn't really pick between those two songs, but yeah. And number 8 is one I do not have, Ironbound from 2010. I don't know why I ever didn't pick this one up. Kind of talking fast, but I got to deal with it because, yeah. An improved sound even more than the 3 previous, starting the 2010s off with a bang with the new age sounding thrash record, and saying we can also go toe to toe with the new school like Havoc and Evil, because, yeah. This album has the sound of new age thrash with like Havoc and Evil at the time, because Evil is still massive, but yeah, the solos are the best of their career to this point, to the point that this album came out, because some of the new albums have better like really complex solos and shit on them. And it truly says we still have it. 10 out of 10. Best song is Bring Me the Night. I was misspelled it on the. But yeah. Bring Me the Night. Great song there too. Now we go to number 7. And here's where we get to some of the the older ones, the classic ones. Number 7, The Years of Decay from 1980 and 1989. Most fans' favorite album. If you ask why is it here, well, I just like the ones above it more. That's just it. The sound is different for being more grime-laden than the album that came out before it. It's heavier and slower, which gives off a unique quality. And yeah. Best song on the album is Who Tends the Fire. Just slow-moving, disgusting, heavy as fuck, and straight to the point, honestly. And the songs are really damn long too. A lot of the songs are over 6 minutes. So very good album. But yeah, I have no reason to put it at number 7. Really, I have no reason for any of these from number 9 or number 10 and above. It's just basically my personal opinion. Any of these I could listen to any day and like them. Number 6 is Fuel the Fire from 1985, the debut album. Like other thrash debuts, this is one of the one that's very primitive and straightforward, showing the spirit of early thrash. The songs are memorable and intense, even from a debut from this time, showing Overkill had something others didn't. Every time I listen to Feel the Fire, it's good. 10 out of 10. Yeah, best song on this album is Rotten to the Core. That's not debatable. It is. It's definitely debatable, but for me, it's not debatable. I always say shit like that, but yeah. Placement's never wrong, honestly, except if you're putting like From the Underground at number 1. No, I'm just kidding. Number 5, I Hear Black from 1993. I told you this one would be a little bit higher on the list, but yeah. Man, I've been talking for a while. The start of the groove metal era of Overkill. This album is was a failure commercially, but artistically, I think it's one of their best. Like Testament's Low, another one that I'm a huge fan of. This album is one of the finest pieces of groove metal out there. Don't sleep on the album, as it has fantastic songs and doesn't deserve the shit that it gets from fans. And yeah, it's basically a mix between thrash and groove metal, which they did away with after this album because, well, yeah, it didn't work and they went to groove. Full on groove, but this album is great because it has both of the styles mixed together. The transitional piece, honestly. Best song is I Hear Black is Feed My Head. Absolute banger track on this, absolutely banger track. Number 4, The Electric Age from 2012. We're getting closer to the top of the list. I said Ironbound was a New Age thrash album, while this one sounds even more New Age. Electric Age is quality, as that's why it's high. That's why it's here on the list at number 4. If Electric Age came out during the classic era of Overkill, it would be considered one of the best by fans, but for what I've seen, it's always under the classics or like somewhat far down the list. And I'm like, why? It has absolutely classics. It has absolutely amazing songs like Electric Rattlesnake and Drop the Hammer Down, Old Wounds, New Scars. Why is this album so low on people's lists? I see. Damn. I don't know if I'm the majority on this one or not, but Electric Age is one of my favorites. And yeah, mention Black Days is the best song on this album. My opinion, Black Days is the absolute best song on this album. Just the whole catchiness of that song is just unreal. Number 3, kind of an unexpected one for this channel to have. Under the Influence, the one that got me into metal. If you have watched this channel for a long time, you might know that this was the album that introduced me to metal. It was back in elementary school on the school computers. Decided to just listen to random music, and well, this was one of them. And for the longest time, Under the Influence was my favorite Overkill album, but the two above it are just miles ahead even this album. That just tells you in how good I think of the two that are above this. And the songs on Under the Influence have a different flavor than anything before it or after, aka it was the transitional piece between the one that's either at number 1 or number 2. Spoiler alert. Yeah, that one's coming up. And also Years of Decay. It was mixed between both of them. This one had longer songs, and yeah, 1987's had the more thrashy, intense stuff. But yeah, best song here is End of the Line. I know that might be a controversial one to have as the best one from this album because a lot of people like Hello from the Gutter, but End of the Line definitely is just, yeah, one of my favorite Overkill songs since I was a kid. So yeah, number 2 is, well, this is going to expose what number 1 is. Number 2 is Wings of War from 2019. I remember seeing Overkill on this tour, on the tour for this album, and actually picking up this copy that's signed. But from the opening second, this album is fantastic. Every song feels focused with a shit ton of momentum that you haven't heard ever since number 1 came out. Taking Over. Yep, Taking Over. I'm spoiling it here because, well, you already know, so why not? The great thrashy nature of Wings of War truly makes it among the best recent thrash releases out there. And the song list is on another level with songs like Head of a Pin, Welcome to the Garden State, which is all about New Jersey and where the band is from, and that opener, Last Man Standing, which is the best song on the album. I did review this back in 2019. The review is absolutely shit because I was just starting out on YouTube, but if you wanna hear some cringe or see some cringe, go check that one out. Yeah. And that leaves us with number one. I've already exposed that. Is going to be Taking Over from 1987. I surprised myself that Under the Influence wasn't number one, but I cannot deny this is the best and one of the best thrash albums of all time. I've seen a lot of people put this one low. I'm like, why the fuck would you put this one low? Honestly, just track listings. Here we go. Deny the Cross, Wrecking Crew, Fear His Name, Use Your Head, Fatal if Swallow, Power Surge. Can I go on, honestly? But yeah, the hard-hitting sound and loud screams of Ellsworth makes this one of the best of one of my favorite albums of all time. Stuttering, but yeah. Makes this one of the best albums of all time, in my opinion. It would fall on the top of the 50 best albums. Never will make that video. Stop asking. Songs like Deny the Cross, Fear His Name, Use Your Head, and Power Surge makes this album great. But Wrecking Crew, holy shit, that song is fucking great. That song is the best Overkill song ever. One that I want to see them play live whenever they come to my hometown. Last time they didn't play it live, they played Deny the Cross, which was still fucking amazing. And yeah, Overkill's Taking Over, the best album of Overkill and one of the best albums of all time. One of my favorites to listen to. And yeah, that's how I rank Overkill. Hope everyone liked it. And I will see everyone whenever I decide to upload again, which might be this week because I got shit done fast. But see everyone whenever I decide to upload again.